Alright, so firstly we're going to make the brioche dough by combining some bread flour, water, and milk in a small pot. Mix together over a high flame until very thickened and put it to the side. It should be a very thick paste. We're going to use it later on to make the bread more fluffy. Next we're going to add some instant yeast to some warm milk and put it to the side for about 8 minutes to wait for the yeast to bloom. I tested several different brioche recipes, but the best one I found was this one by Joshua Weissman. I'll put his video and his channel in the description down below. So now you're going to add some bread flour, sugar, and salt to a food processor and mix together. I prefer using a food processor to a stand mixer because it's much faster, and I also don't have a stand mixer, so that's probably a good reason as well. Add your flour and milk mixture from the beginning and slowly pour in your milk and yeast. Also, I've done this entire recipe before with almond milk, so if you don't like dairy milk, you can use that as a very good substitute. Add 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk and mix together to combine. At this point, you're going to slowly add in your softened butter in increments. Very important. If you add it all at once, the whole dough is going to be messed up. Trust me, I've done it before and it's not fun. Mix everything together, and when your dough is nice and smooth, put it on a floured cutting board and make it into a nice ball. Take the corners, or well, I guess there are no corners here, but take the edges of the dough and fold them into the center. Make them into a ball, flip it over, and then just use your hands to make a nice taut ball. Add some neutral tasting oil to a small or medium sized bowl and throw in your dough. Throw some more oil on top and roll everything together to make sure everything is fully oiled. So at this point, the dough is really tired of being slapped around in the food processor, so you're going to add some foil and put it to rest for about 2 hours. After your dough is rested, you're going to put it back onto a floured work surface and divide it into 6 to 7 equal pieces. More like 6, you won't really get an equal amount with 7. So if you like, you can flour your knife at this point, but I never do because I don't really care. We're going to be tearing the dough apart anyway right now. Make it into 6 equal pieces and weigh them out to be about 90 to 100 grams. I made mine more towards 100, but you know, it depends on how big you want them. So just like with a huge piece of dough in the beginning, you're going to shape each one into a tiny individual ball, and you're going to place it on a parchment lined baking sheet to rise for a second time. So now the crucial step is to oil whatever you're going to be covering the dough with. I'm using foil. Just brush it with some oil and then use a paper towel to get it dispersed evenly and put it to rest for 45 minutes. While it's resting, this is a perfect time to make our pistachio filling. So first we're going to make a simple syrup by combining some sugar and some water, and then we're going to wait for it to boil. When it boils, all the sugar has dissolved, and now we're going to put it to the side until it cools to room temperature. Meanwhile, you're going to shell some pistachios and put them into a bowl. After that, you're going to place it on a foil-lined baking sheet and bake at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. Once finished baking, you're going to place the pistachios as well as some powdered sugar into a food processor and blitz until it's fully combined. Once both are combined, you're going to add some cornstarch as well as some salt into the mix and just pulse it a few times to make it combined as well. In a separate bowl, you're going to whisk some butter until it reaches peak fluffiness, and then you're going to crack in 1 egg. It's highly recommended that you add some vanilla extract, but you don't have to. The main flavor is the pistachio. Whisk everything together once more and add in your pistachio mix from earlier. Now you're going to fold everything with a silicone spatula to combine all of the ingredients and put it in the refrigerator until everything else is complete. So you can and probably should make it in advance, but if you're on a time crunch, it's perfectly fine to make it within those 45 minutes. Once your buns have finished rising, remove the cover, and separately you're going to whisk together an egg as well as some milk to create our egg wash. Gently brush each and every single one of these. I know it's tedious, I know it might be annoying, but you have to do it, and you have to do it all around as well. We don't want any blind spots. Put it in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 18 to 25 minutes, or until they're golden brown. Rough chop some more pistachios and put them to the side. When your buns are ready, take them out and let them cool for 5 minutes. After they're cool enough to handle with your hands, chop in the center with a knife, or just slice in half, I don't know why I said chop, and use your simple syrup from earlier to brush each and every single half. Now, if your pistachio filling is chilled, you can just mold it with your hands and put it into each one. You're kind of making a sandwich with the buns and the pistachio filling, but if it's not completely cool, you can just use a spoon and spoon on your filling as a liquid. You're also going to add a little bit of the filling on top of each bun, and you're going to spread it either with a knife or with your hands. You're then going to place your crushed pistachios over top of your filling, and then you're going to place it in the oven at 315. It should take about 15 minutes, but just check with a thermometer to make sure the filling on the inside is about 165 Fahrenheit. And that's all there is to it. Hopefully, you've succeeded and you've made these lovely pistachio buns. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.